Maxi Gamer 7 and welcome back to another Create a Sim here on the channel. So today we are continuing on with the D&D Create a Sim, and if you watched the last one, then you already sort of know a little bit about this character, because technically this character and the last character are related. They are twin sisters. So you know a little bit about where this is going already if you watched the last one. If not, I highly suggest go and watch the Mordio's video so that you sort of know a little bit about Zahara before you go into watching this one. And just as a little recap, if you don't know what this series is, it's a D&D based series where I'm taking the D&D characters that I have created, backstories for, names, all that lovely stuff, stories, and I'm actually trying to create them in Sims. And then I also got a little mini series planned after this that is connected to a build series that has been going on for a lot longer than I meant it to at this point. But, you know, life happens, stuff like that, things, you know. I put a little too much into 1 year. 2022 has been a lot for me. I have bought a new house, which I've lived in the same house my whole entire life until this year. So 28 years of the same house. Long time. And then got engaged, got married. Also, of course, moved into the new house. Had a very chaotic job, and now I'm starting a new job. I've pushed so much into this year, but you know what? It's fine. It's okay. It's all good. Let's continue on here. This is Hylia Mordio. So Hylia is Zahara's twin sister. If you, like I said, I talked a little bit about Hylia in the last one. I never mentioned her name. Wanted to save it for this point, because, you know, this is her video. So she is the one, so like the group of people that I sort of created up with that's semi-homebrew, taking effects of a few different other races and also some inspiration from another game, and rolled it up into one and created these people. She, unlike her sister, is not gifted in magic. She really can't do magical spells or potions. She definitely can use some of her sister's potions to enhance, like, her weapons, but she is a bow person, long-range skill. She has amazing eyesight, so that is what she is naturally gifted. The people in this race that I have come up with, that is, they either have the strength and skills and eyesight of long-range weapons, or they have the magical intuition honed into their roots. And they really usually can't do both. It's just something about their DNA, their race, it just doesn't sort of mix into both of the things. So Hylia here is a bow user. So she is a little bit different from her sister in that way. She also is not quite as confident as her sister. She is a little bit more on the shy side. If you ever see them in the same room together in like a group of people, Hylia is always going to be standing behind Zahara. That is just how she's been for her whole entire life. Zahara's got the skills to talk to people, the confidence to talk to people. She feels comfortable and okay in front of people, while Hylia here does not. She's constantly feeling like she's uncomfortable, like she's being stared at. She's just not And even when it came to the plan that I was talking about with Zahara's thing, she was a little bit hesitant to carry out the plan, partially because she does sometimes worry about the effects. She overthinks things more than her sister, and she's like, yeah, we need to do something to help the people. And obviously right now our parents still have the rule, and there's no way that we can get power until they're gone. I understand that, but at the same time, things could go wrong. So, but ultimately, in the end, she did help her sister because her sister couldn't do it all on her own. And now they are in the situation of running away because part of the people want Hylia to take the role and feel like Hylia didn't have anything to do with the plan, or she was forced to do it because of how her sister is. And then the other half of the people think that no matter who one, they're sort of under the impression whether they think Zahara or Hylia did it doesn't matter because they don't think Hylia has the skill set to rule, but also a lot of them don't think it was fully just 100% Zahara like some people think, and like if it wasn't for Hylia, the thing would have never been fully carried out. So it's a back and forth in between the people. The sisters don't want to be torn apart, so they are on the run. And Zahara, obviously, like I mentioned, she's wanting to strengthen her magic skills and things like that. And Hylia definitely also wants to strengthen her skills, which is something I did mention in Zahara's videos as well. Both of them want to become stronger and better at what they do. One, to be able to protect themselves, but also know ways of protecting themselves without hurting the people, ways to protect the people without hurting the people, you know, all that sort of stuff. They want to make sure whenever they go back and whenever they take power, no matter which one it's going to be, they want to make sure that they can do it at close, if not the top of their skill set. But Hylia has a little bit more in, like, her adventuring sense. So like I said in the last video, personally, when it comes to both of the sisters, I love them both. Obviously, I created them, and I love all of my characters. There's going to be characters that I ultimately, in the long run, like more than others, and I'll admit, during this whole journey of trying to create sim versions of them, what has actually happened because of trying to translate their personalities that I made and trying to make them somewhat unique and give them different things so that when I throw them into this household with all these different characters, trying to make it where they're going, like, something hopefully interesting and some drama happens every once in a while. I've actually created and added to my D&D characters' personalities through Sims, because as I add them into Sims and I start, like, trying to create even just simply their outfits, and because I went through and eventually made all their outfits. On the videos, you're only seeing their everyday outfits, but I go through, some of them have more than one everyday outfit. I've added the formal all the way through winter. So, like, you know, getting their style and imagining what they would dress like in different situations. Like, this has actually made me add to their personality, so some of the characters have changed while I've been doing this whole create a sim thing, and, like, some of them I ended up liking a lot more than I used to, and then some of them, as I drew them, some things changes, and, like, I also, oddly enough, I ended up making a playlist that has, like, songs, and each song is supposed to be sort of a theme for the different characters, and now my husband also does the same thing for his, and we just try to guess each other's characters and which songs they go through. It's just a little thing that we sort of do together. But it's like, it's sort of strange but also fun. But there's been multiple ways that these characters have slowly evolved over time, and I sort of love that. But I was mentioning at the end of Zahara's that I would probably want to play Zahara more, but there is, when it comes to Hylia, there is potentially slightly more growth as a character there in the long run, just because Hylia does have this complex of being a little bit shy. She's not as confident, but she wants to find that confidence. She wants to find her place, because she definitely is on the side of Zahara should take, once we get back and once things are settled, Zahara should take rule. It should not be me, even if I somehow find my own confidence. I just don't think that is something for me. So she's sort of trying to find herself in this journey while she's running away and while she's trying to help her sister. And she's just trying to sort of discover herself, and I do love that about her. Like, she doesn't have this confidence, but she wants to grow. And maybe she'll never get that confidence, and she's sort of accepting of that, but she still at least wants to figure out what path she wants to take. What role does she want to have in the kingdom? What role does she want to have alongside her sister? So it's a lot more of a figuring out process for her, versus Zahara is definitely going to be more focused on just getting stronger with her magical skills, and Hylia is trying to get stronger in multiple ways. But I love both of them, and you may notice with Hylia here, I was giving her, like, pointed ears. I was really sad. Like, you would have seen the drawing at the beginning anyway, but I was really sad because I love this hair on her, and that's why I ultimately decided to go with this hair. It was definitely more of what I was going for, but the ears are not showing through the hair really at all, which sort of made me a little sad, but it's fine. It's okay. But my thought process in between her having such a different hair color and like these ears going on was partially side effects from Zahara's potions. That was like a little funny thing that I wanted to throw on this character since Zahara did experiment on her. Like, obviously, even if Zahara knew what she was doing, every potion is not going to be good, and every potion is not going to do 100% what she thinks it is, because she's experimenting, she's trying to learn. And Hylia was her main test subject, so so it ultimately, for some reason, permanently changed her hair color, one of the potions at some point in time, and it also gave her these pointed ears, like it did something to her ears. Who knows what else is going on inside of Hylia at this point, so I think that's maybe one of the parts that would potentially make this character fun to play in a DM setting, like a D&D setting. So if for some reason I randomly, if I left it up to the DM, I was like, here's these two sisters, you choose which one I play and which one you do, and they tell me to play Hylia, I would try to run on the fact that she does have these potions just consumed inside of her. Like, hey, she's technically only supposed to have bow skills, but that may be a way I can get around it because Zahara's experimented on her so much. But anyway, but yes, but she is, I love her. She's more, like, adorable, while I think Zahara's probably more, like, badass type. But I love both of them. I really do. And as far as, like, Hylia here in Sims, I did give her the best-selling author, because there's a part of me that imagines that if she did go out adventuring with her sister, and eventually maybe she did find her place, I could see her sitting down and actually writing the stories of her journey, and of her sister's journey, and, like, what they had to go through growing up. Like, I could see her doing that, so I gave her that aspiration. And as far as the traits that I gave her creative, bookworm, and clumsy as her main three. Clumsy partially is getting back to that little awkwardness of her. Bookworm is just because I do imagine she probably did sit around, like, if you're royal, you gotta find something to do. Her sister's experimenting on potions. She's sitting around reading books as her sister's working with potions. And that's also partially where I think, you know, the author thing would come through. Like, this is what she did on her time on her own, sitting around the palace, is reading, while Zahara was playing with potions. And then creative, just because I think both of them do have a creativeness to them, but I think her creativeness would shine in a different way and come out in a totally other way. And also, technically, if I'm able to have the mod that gives them 5 traits, I did want at least 1 or 2 traits to potentially connect. And technically, they'll actually have 3 common traits if I get to do 5. But these are twin sisters, and they did go through a very similar experience, so that is partially why. But the other 2 traits that I eventually will add to her is Unflirty, which Zahara will also be getting later on if the 5 trait mod works. And then Paranoid, which Zahara already has. Again, they're running away. She would be more paranoid for her sister, because I think she's feeding off of that. Anyway, so yeah, that is Hylia. You should be seeing pictures of them actually together here. Like I said, I love these two. I love the fact that they are sisters, and I like taking my D&D characters and having them connected to other characters. Obviously, if I ever went and played them in a D&D setting, I would have to present this to the DM and see how they went with it from there, but at the same time, I like having these characters connected, and I think it makes their stories more developed and more fun, and there's more to play with and more to go off of. And these two especially, I love them. I love that they are quite different, but they are so connected. They are very close sisters. They have a very close bond. No matter where they go, they will always be thinking of each other, so I love them for that. But yeah, anyway, I hope you like how Hylia turned out. I definitely did. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about her story, as well as her sim version self, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one, which will be the last character of this series. So until then, bye bye!